New tonight at 10, with warmer weather here, more motorcycles are back on the roads, and troopers say a few simple habits can save lives for both riders and drivers. Summer riding season is picking up across the Mid-Ohio Valley. Ohio State troopers are reminding everyone motorcycles don't have the same protection as a car or truck. That's why Ohio Highway Patrol Lieutenant Coy Lehman said riders need to slow down, stay alert, and gear up. Drivers also play a major role in preventing crashes. Motorcycles can be harder to spot because they are smaller with fewer lights. Lehman reminds riders to keep headlights on and wear bright clothing to stand out. He said as more bikes hit the road, distractions behind the wheel can turn deadly in an instant.
So summer months are coming quickly. So that means there's going to be a lot more motorcycles on the road. The biggest thing is just stay attentive to the roadway. Make sure you're checking your surroundings, checking your mirrors. Don't be on your phones, do any distractions. All those things lead to maybe running into a motorcycle.
Lehman says motorcycle crashes were down last year, but they still made up about half of the county's fatal crashes, a reminder of just how quickly a ride can turn tragic. Head over to our website, WTAP.com, to find out about motorcycle safety days the Highway Patrol will be holding this summer.